How are you? It's good to have you back to our channel. Welcome to the family. Thank you for keeping us up. Thank you for your support. So today we are looking at the mistakes to avoid when preparing for IELTS exam. Which are those things from my personal experience from coaching different students have I seen that you will need to avoid those bumps so that you can pass your exam. The first mistake that you need to avoid is assuming that IELTS is easy. Oh, I scored an A in my KCSE, I scored a B+, I'm good in English. IELTS is easy, I do not have to prepare well. That is mistake number one. Avoid that mistake. IELTS in an exam. And I can tell you for sure, IELTS is not an exam that just tests your English, it also tests your reasoning, it tests how fast you're able to process information, it tests your analytical skills, it tests so many things. So do not assume that because you passed high school, because you studied in an international school, that you will get a bad 9. It is not always the case. Avoid that. Mistake number 2 is booking the wrong IELTS exam. We have IELTS academic, IELTS for UK visa, we have IELTS for general training. If you are going to Canada's PR program, you book IELTS general training. If you're going to a university in the Schengen countries or in Canada, you do book IELTS academic. If you're going to UK, you need to book IELTS UK visa, IELTS UKVI. Now, mistake people made, and I've seen this with PR, is that they assume IELTS academic is for those people who are sharp, those people who are intelligent, and IELTS general training is for those people who are not intelligent. So you see, my professor or my PhD holder or my master's holder who is going to Canada on an express entry program say, no, I want IELTS academic. You will sit again and you will pay the full fee. There will be no, even discount or anything. Yeah. So you need to sit for the right IELTS exam. Avoid that mistake. The third mistake that you need to avoid, and avoid it so clearly, is giving the option of choosing IELTS computer or doing it on paper. You need to consider all the factors well. If you're not somebody who is able to think so well when you're on the computer, or you are somebody who is so slow, you know your speed because you know how fast you're able to finish tasks when you're a student, avoid IELTS computer. Choose to do things on paper. Because for some questions, see like ABCD questions, those questions that follow one another, if you choose IELTS on computer, ukipita swali moja unapita. You will not be able to go back if you are not able to answer at that time. So the best thing for you will be to book IELTS on paper. Now, when it comes to essay writing, how messy are you? Do you keep cancelling? If you're a person who keeps cancelling, then you are better off doing IELTS computer. Because IELTS computer is a computer, it is easier to delete and go back, yeah? But on paper, you'll have to close or use or whatever, yeah? So, you know yourself. Are you able to organize yourself, your thoughts so well, and write so clearly up to the end? If that is you, IELTS on paper will do. If you keep cancelling things, or you're not sure about yourself, IELTS computer will be better for you. Avoid that mistake. Now, the fourth mistake that you need to avoid is, like when you're preparing, we've got a lot of materials on right now. So you're here consuming all the information from all these teachers online. And you're not doing the practice. Like they are discussing how to write an essay. You have watched 1,000 videos of how to write an essay, but you're not writing the essay. Doing and listening about how to do it are different. And in the exam room, you will not be asked, what knowledge do you have about writing an essay? You will do the actual writing. So you are here listening to this YouTube video and they're saying about IELTS speaking, but you're not doing the actual practice. You're not recording yourself when you're talking so that you see how well you can ace the IELTS speaking test. That's a mistake that you need to avoid. You need to do these things practically. Stay alone, record yourself for IELTS speaking. Now for IELTS listening, so you are here, you are listening to the audio, so you have an idea about the questions that are asked in this IELTS exam, but you've not sat down to do a practical test. Listen and then answer the question. That's a mistake that you should avoid in IELTS. Okay? you should do the things practically. So is it listening? Join the Telegram group. So listen and write the answers that you are listening and see. Did I score that 5 out of 40? Did I score 20 out of 40? If it is as writing, don't read about how to write a good essay. After you've read everything, write that good essay. That's a mistake that you should avoid. You should be a doer, but not just observing and listening. Huh? The other mistake that people do is they prepare, but they do not have somebody to give them feedback. So yes, you are writing the essay. Is there someone to look at your essay and give you feedback on the areas of improvement? Because if you continue writing the essay without anybody to give you feedback, you will not know where you are making mistakes. Yes, you are listening. Listening is easier because listening you'll be able to mark for yourself. Most of the times they give you the answer sheet. Huh? Or if it is the speaking test, you need to have somebody to give you the feedback so that you know where you are improving. Because if you continue doing it alone without feedback, you make the same mistake over and over again. And that is where we come in. We do offer IELTS coaching services, and much of what we do is to give you feedback. You have written an article, you write every day when you are with us, we are able to give you feedback and you continue improving. If you are doing a listening test or a speaking test, we give you feedback so that you're able to polish up your skills up to the end. If you need such a service, you can talk to us and we can offer it to you. Classes are held purely online. It's just a mock exam that is done physically for those who can get to Nairobi. The other mistake that people do is failing to prepare and to prepare well. Sometimes you see someone booking an IELTS in that 5 days' time. Sometimes you see someone booking an IELTS exam in 2 weeks' time. Well, if you have a lot of time to prepare and you know like you'll be sleeping very few hours and all the other time is dedicated to preparing, for sure 10 days are enough. 10 days will be enough. For some, even 7 days will be enough. But if you're busy during the day, you only have evening when you're coming, for sure, I'll be honest with you, 2 weeks are not enough. You need a minimum of 40 days. The only time you can give yourself a very short span of preparing is if that is the only thing that you are doing. If preparing for IELTS is the only thing you're doing when you wake up, you take a break, you come back, you take a break, you come back, 7 days for sure are enough, especially if you're a graduate. But if you're spending your whole day at work and then you only have a few hours in the evening, that will not be enough. Avoid that mistake. The other common mistake that people make is to panic. So you go and you've gotten into the exam room and they've asked you a question which has evaporated, you panic. Especially in the speaking test. The speaking test, your score will largely be tied to your confidence. Huh? So try to develop confidence when you're doing your speaking practice and ensure that you don't lose your passion, you don't lose your zeal. Remember, I always say that the person who is testing you is a professor of English and doesn't know about your life, doesn't know about your opinions, doesn't know about your perception about life. You know yourself better. So you do not allow them to frustrate you. And then the other mistake that people do with us is failing to give it another shot. So maybe you're a doctor, you needed 7.5 and you have this written score that has come at 6 and you give up and you throw in the towel. Or maybe you are doing Canadian PR, your age is over 35, so you are depending on IELTS to boost your score. You rebook the exam. And you know the good thing with IELTS is that you can always sit for the part that you failed. You don't have to sit for everything. And then your general score is going to be consolidated. Yeah. So I hope that has been helpful. If you're planning to sit for an IELTS exam, from the bottom of my heart, I wish you all the best. It is possible to get band 9. It is possible to get 8.5. It is possible to get 8. IELTS require preparation, and I wish you all the very best. Okay? Thanks for keeping it here. Kindly subscribe. Hit the notification button and like the video if we added value to you. Until our next time, bye-bye.